Pleasure to be here and really excited to share what Skylo's been working on. Quick introduction about myself. I'm an aerospace engineer by training. I spent a lot of my time working on Department of Defense funded projects at MIT before coming over to Stanford, where I had the opportunity to work with an incredible team spinning out a company that's able to connect cellular devices directly over satellite so that you never lose coverage, no matter where you go. If you go to the next slide, please. The insight that we had when we started the company was people want to stay connected all the time, but existing terrestrial cellular technologies don't provide the coverage that's needed for ubiquity. It's too expensive to put up cell sites in remote and rural areas, while at the same time, satellite technologies are proprietary in nature, and they require very expensive hardware that you need to carry with you and install, and that might not always be the right solution. And so what we wanted to do was, rather than use proprietary satellite technology, we wanted to converge the cellular world with the satellite world. So you could use existing cellular chipsets, existing cellular protocols to keep the device that's already in your pocket or on your wrist connected at all times. Next slide, please. Remarkably, we turned what was previously a hardware challenge into a software challenge. We built an entire new software-defined tech stack that leveraged the cellular standards, and we were able to use existing satellites in partnership with companies such as Viasat, EchoStar, and others, and we were able to take existing cellular chipset from companies like Qualcomm and Samsung and others, and essentially enable existing cellular devices to gain access to satellite in a very efficient way. This mode of connectivity leverages dedicated satellite spectrum in the MSS, mobile satellite spectrum bands. So there's no need for carriers to give up their spectrum. At the same time, there's no need for any extra hardware. The existing RF front end, the existing antenna in your phone is actually capable to close the link over satellite. And to do that, we had to work at every single layer of the mobile tech stack, from the chipset to the device to the operating system, all the way back to our software-defined radio access network infrastructure, which sits in more than 10 Earth stations globally, connecting 4 continents live commercially now in 35 plus markets around the world. Slide, please. We are incredibly excited to have launched our service on every variant of the Google Pixel 9 smartphone in the United States. This partnership with Google and with Android has now allowed a remarkable capability for consumers to have peace of mind wherever they go. Whether they're hiking, whether they're on a long drive, or whether they find themselves stuck in a hurricane, they can now contact emergency services without having to worry about whether they're in a cellular connected zone or not. The phone automatically switches to satellite to initiate an SOS. And this is coming as a native feature within Android as well. We're expanding this one step further with a nationwide partnership with Verizon. Next slide, please. Consumers want to stay connected. They want to be able to not just reach out when they're in trouble, but they want to stay connected with people they love, people they care about, businesses that they care about. And our nationwide partnership with Verizon now allows you to text directly from your smartphone, which is certified by Skylo. And it's not just for the mother who wants to stay connected with her family when she's away. It's for fundamentally the farmer, the hiker, the trucker, the sailor, and the soldier. We feel that this is an application that will serve multiple industries, multiple individuals, and ensure that you never lose coverage. Slide, please. And beyond smartphones, this service is coming to wearable devices. It's already launched in accessory devices from
companies such as Motorola, and it's available already at an REI store or at an AT&T store near you. So we're very excited to have now brought a capability that people in America, people in Europe have been using over the past year. To do this, we have had to focus on 3 different verticals. If you go to the next slide, please. We have had a rich focus on smartphone connectivity. So our partnership with Android has allowed us to ensure that people can stay connected with texting capabilities anywhere they go. What's coming next on the smartphone side is capabilities such as voice, which is carrier native. On the automotive side, we're doing a lot of work with our partners in ensuring that satellite connectivity for cars is the new standard. This will unlock your ability to have AI agents anywhere you go, your ability to have e-call, b-call functionalities, and very pragmatic capabilities like ensuring you never get locked out of your car when you go remote. And the third segment we're putting a lot of emphasis on is enterprise and IoT. In fact, we've launched commercially in Europe with Deutsche Telekom and had a successful early adopter program where all different types of enterprises, from utilities to agriculture to mining, were all able to take advantage of our service with their existing devices and use cases. And that was excellent to see. If you go to the next slide, please. Bringing this to market really takes a village. And we have converged a full ecosystem that allows Skylo to work across the stack, from certified chipsets, including the latest Snapdragon from Qualcomm, including the latest Exynos 5G chipset from Samsung, including MediaTek and Sony. We now cover 2/3 of the world's most popular chipsets effectively to connect over this new standards-based method of satellite connectivity direct to device. We have worked across all the major test equipment vendors, ensuring that our certification process becomes as standard, as easy to access as possible. In fact, just as easy as it is to get your device certified on a cellular network. We do a lot of work with Android in ensuring that the experience for users is reliable and predictable. That's really important for us. And of course, we work with our satellite partners in ensuring that we're leveraging harmonized MSS spectrum bands. We're leveraging their existing capabilities in multiple markets. And bringing this to market is going to be through the carriers. So we partner extensively, essentially as a roaming operator between carriers, so that the service is extremely familiar to both the carrier and the consumer. And it can be brought to you with essentially a single contract with a carrier you already use with a single bill. And all of that makes it frictionless to access. Slide, please. As I mentioned, the service is now up and running in several markets. We're expanding this capability quickly with carrier partnerships all around the world. So you should expect to find Skylo coming to you shortly if it hasn't already. Next slide, please. There are a couple of different approaches to solving direct-to-device connectivity that I want to spend a second differentiating between. Our approach leverages dedicated spectrum for mobile, using mobile satellite bands, which is essentially sandwiched between the cellular bands. Therefore, there's no change required to the fundamental RF hardware in the device. The other approach is using terrestrial spectrum, which requires the carrier in each country to give up certain bands or share them with the satellite operator, which might limit how much spectrum is available. It's certainly expensive spectrum because it's terrestrially auctioned in most countries, as well as it's shared. So there are interference concerns and regulatory concerns with access to terrestrial spectrum, which is why we chose to use globally harmonized MSS bands. This ensures that you have a dedicated highway in space for your devices, and it allows us to grow and scale with demand. And it allows us to leverage the standards. So we are now part of the 3GPP NTN standards, and it has proliferated across all forms of cellular devices, which is an achievement we're extremely proud of. Because we're using dedicated bands, it's also compatible across all carriers. They don't have to give up their spectrum for enabling this capability for their consumers, and it's as simple as signing a roaming agreement with Skylo. Slide, please. From a carrier perspective, this allows the carrier to fundamentally achieve a level of network experience that is differentiated, that ensures that their consumers never lose coverage wherever they go in the world. It helps boost customer loyalty, it helps reduce churn on the network, and it helps drive new revenue as well. It allows carriers to focus on use cases such as maritime, which previously wouldn't have been in their domain. And we're excited about the various ways in which we're enabling carriers in different markets to bring this service to their consumers and to their enterprise customers. And to do that, our business model is quite simple. Go to the next slide. We essentially provide MNOs, which is the mobile carriers, complete flexibility on retail positioning. We act as a wholesale partner to them, and they then are able to package satellite connectivity inside their existing plans, inside their existing SIM, essentially, which goes inside the device. And as we continue to bring this capability to different markets, we remain excited to bring on additional partnerships. We'd be very excited to work with you if you're interested in being a partner to Skylo and joining our ecosystem. Slide, please. We're also very fortunate to be backed by an incredible group, including Seraphim, including Eric Schmidt's innovation endeavors, BMW, iVentures, Samsung, Intel, and others. Our global team is present across continents with our headquarters in Mountain View. We have a very significant development in Finland as well as in India. And I wanted to close by thanking you all and virtually connecting with you. And again, thank you, Mark and James, for having me here. Appreciate it.